Coming up on First at 4, a father and son die in a house fire in Letcher County. We'll talk to neighbors that rushed to respond. And a Kentucky official was recognized for his hard work. His reaction coming up.
Plus, our summer preview continues through midweek. Your forecast on the way as Mountain News First at 4 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, 2 men are dead after a house fire in Letcher County. WYMT's RJ Johnson shares how neighbors responded to that fire.
It all happened here behind me Sunday morning on Henry Hutton Drive, where a father and son died in a house fire. Jerry Martin lives a couple of doors down and says she was getting ready for church when she heard an explosion. She says she jumped into action, calling 911 and tried to figure out what she could do to help them.
And by that time, a neighbor across the street had come out. We both ran back into our homes to get the fire extinguishers that we had. They're, small kitchen fire extinguishers, so not very effective.
Letcher County Coroner says they are still working to contact a family member of the victims. In Fleming Neon, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
The exact cause of the fire has not been released. We do know the victims were 77 and 32 years old. Thousands of cars are expected to pack the interstates for Memorial Day weekend. Bluegrass Airport in Lexington is also expecting record significant foot travel this year. But 86% of folks will be traveling via car. And with that many extra people headed out of town, AAA Representative Lori Hawkins gave us some tips for what drivers should expect.
Make sure that your vehicle is well maintained before you head out, and then you are going to need to be patient. You're probably going to hit some traffic congestion. Be sure that you don't become distracted. Those are things you really need to keep top of mind.
Hawkins says they're expecting around 500,000 Kentuckians to travel by car. Hawkins also shared that nationwide we have surpassed pre-pandemic travel numbers, and we're very close to having as many travelers as the record number back in 2005.
Well, the forecast looks a little bit more soggy by your Memorial Day weekend, but until then, we are tracking a summer preview across the region to kick off the work week. A live look from Buffalo Mountain and Perry County, some sunshine, also some warm weather. We should be in the middle to upper 70s, most of us today, in the middle to upper 80s, up to 86 in Somerset, also for Irvin, up to 85 in Jackson, 82 for Hazard, also in Pike County at this hour. We are dry on first alert pinpoint Doppler, and this dry weather is all thanks to high pressure that is parked over the eastern U.S., and this will bring some more dry conditions to go into your Monday evening, also for most of us tomorrow and for the majority of your Wednesday. But we are tracking a few changes by Wednesday night, also pushing into your Thursday, Friday, and your holiday weekend. But until then, some nice weather is on the way this evening. We stay dry under a partly cloudy to mainly clear sky. Those temperatures are mild this evening. Most of us see middle to lower 70s, low 60s to wake up on Tuesday, and your election day also looking warm. We see middle to upper 80s on Tuesday, a small chance of a shower, and more warm weather for Wednesday, but those rain chances increase by Thursday and Friday. All those details coming up in just a few minutes. Steve.
Cameron, thank you. Secretary of State Michael Adams is being honored for an award for those who show bravery in politics. The John F. Kennedy Library Foundation awarded him with the 2024 Profile Encourage Award. It recognizes public servants who risk their careers by putting the public interest ahead of their political standings. Secretary Adams is being acknowledged for his efforts for fair elections and his work to expand voting rights.
This award was designed for people that show political bravery. It wasn't really conceived of that you have to show personal bravery in the face of threats. And Kentucky's gotten off easy compared to some other places, but there are poll workers in Georgia and Arizona who've gotten horrible threats, messages. Their families have gotten them. It does take courage today to volunteer yourself, and so I'm grateful to all the election workers across America.
Some past winners of the award include U.S. Presidents Gerald Ford and Barack Obama. An overturned school bus filled with smoke, first responders rushing to the scene. That scenario played out in Mercer County today. The mock exercise came just days after the anniversary of one of the nation's deadliest bus crashes right here in Kentucky. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what took place in the exercise.
This event today took part with the help of a lot of different people, the school system, county officials, first responders, the hospital. They say that they simply wanted to make this look as realistic as possible. An overturned bus filling up with smoke, making it hard for anyone to see.
When this happens, you have to think on your feet.
People played the part of the victims, including Kaylee Legendorfer, who graduated last weekend but also works as a firefighter herself.
So in my case, I was an 8-year-old unresponsive female, and labored breathing, laceration to the abdomen, head, and then a broken open fracture on my leg.
The exercise comes 36 years and 6 days after one of the worst bus crashes, the tragedy in Carrollton. Mercer County Superintendent Jason Boer was on that bus.
And now I'm able to look back and see some positive things that came about of such a terrible tragedy.
And emergency officials say that in a school bus crash like this, you're going to have a wide variety of different situations. You're going to have about 60 people, mostly kids. You might have some kids that are killed and some that don't even have injuries at all, with a wide variety of injuries all in between. They say the important thing is to make good, quick decisions. In Mercer County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Officials say it is important to over-prepare for whatever may happen in situations like this. Coming up on First at 4, today is World Bee Day. Why one agency is saying people should try harder to protect them.
And another warm day is ahead for the primary election. Those details coming up after this break.